98.1 Salt FM Abakaliki. Today, you'll be listening to Henry Ndoka Awurego. He is the Director General, Scholars Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and he is going to continue from where he stopped last week, Thursday, when he was here with us. And quickly, let me hand over the mic to him. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. You can even call up a friend because that friend will come back to thank you later. Enjoy listening.
Thank you very much, my dear brother Ugochukwu Onwe. Thank you, Ebonyans, and I want to wish you a happy Christmas celebration and a prosperous New Year in advance. Thank you for the way you are participating in the WEALTHLINK radio program on Salt FM 98.1 FM. We are here again today to continue from where we stopped. In the last episode, we tried to introduce the power of skills and the power of preparation. And we said that there are 3 P's, which is preparation, packaging, and positioning. We took it further to the 10 P's, which goes this way, that proper planning and previous preparation, packaging, and positioning prevents poor performance. This program is brought to you courtesy of the FON Diaspora Network, the people who believe in the person of Francis Ogbonnawifuru to become the next governor of Ebonyi State, and they are our people in diaspora trying to get our people to be prepared, packaged, and positioned, because we believe that government and governance will only favor those who are prepared, those who are packaged, and those who are positioned. And the incoming government in Ebonyi State will most likely go into human capital development. And we're excited that Chief Honorable Francis Ogbonnawifuru, based on his track record, believes in human capital development. And that's why he bought into this program. And he has thrown his weight behind it, because Ebonyi must be developed in terms of human resource, not just infrastructure, but human resource, so that our GDP will skyrocket. That is the essence of this program. Again, I want to remind us that this program is brought to you by the Scholars Chamber of Commerce and Industry in partnership with the Skills Development Council of Canada. We train, as we are training on radio and in our WhatsApp class. At the end of the training, the Skills Development Council of Canada will certify. The certificate will come from Canada. And those who are beneficiaries, those who will be beneficiaries of these free certificates that will be paid for by the FON Diaspora Support Network, will now be positioned to benefit from from what we call Global Skills and Service Export Program, which is not just exporting products, but exporting human capital, exporting services from here to overseas, where we will earn in foreign currencies and then come back to use those monies to develop our own place, Ebonyi. Ebonyi is for us. And that is why people are paying to get this certificate in other states. But here, the FON Diaspora Network is paying for at least 100 persons. And I'm so excited that over 100 persons have subscribed in the WhatsApp class through the number we have been announcing on radio. Very soon we will close that class, because already we have more than enough. And we're looking for just 100 persons, but we have more than 100 persons in that class now. So it is very important that when we call the numbers now, you try as much as you can to send your name and your WhatsApp number to that number, so that we will include you in the WhatsApp class. The number is 080 50 388 388. I take it again, 080 50 388 388. Today we promise to go into the strategies for bridging the gap between learning and earning. And in the Scholars Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we've developed 12 T's. Those 12 T's will enable us to bridge the gap. Like I said last week, the gap is more than just a gap, it's already a gulf between learning and earning. That is what we mean. But people go to school, but they are not skilled. People pass through education, but they are not empowered. And that's why people are looking for employment. And the problem is not just unemployment, the problem is unemployability. Because when you lack the requisite skills to be able to fit into the required field that you are aspiring to go into, you discover that there's nothing, no magic. So that's the difference between unemployment and unemployability. And so we are trying to bring these 12 T's. 12 T's today will enable you to know what it takes to bridge the gap between learning and earning. T number 1 is training. So it is not just going to school, but you have to be trained. Training guarantees triumph. Training takes you out of trouble. A lot of people have gone to school, but they are not trained. And so that's why the number 1 T is training. Training has to do with capacity building. Training has to do with practicalizing the skill, bringing to you the strategies of practicalizing the skills that you want to acquire. It has to do with mentorship. Somebody must walk you through the ladder. Isaac Newton made a statement. He said, if I have gone far in life, it is by standing on the shoulders of those that have gone before me. So somebody must train you. It's not about fulfilling the curriculum, going through the classes and fulfilling all the exam requirements and coming out with flying colors. You must be trained. And that is what we're doing on this radio program, WEALTHLINK radio program, to train people in various skills, and then they will be certified. So training is very essential. Training is more practical than education. Yes, education makes you to get certificates and then acquire knowledge, but then there must be practical know-how aspect of what you have been educated in. So that's training. Training is more practical than just going to school. So that is why somebody who is a radio mechanic can train another person, whether he or she has gone to school or not. So training, you must be trained. Then when you are trained, you go to the next T, which is technology. Today, practically every sector of the economy is controlled by technology. So T number 2 is technology. Technology has to do with the scientific application, okay, of the training you have acquired. So there are various technologies in vogue today. I'll bring to you, for example, a cameraman who is using camera to snap. Today, technology has made it possible that there are some phones that will produce better pictures than even the cameras that we have today. So that's what technology can do. Technology can mess up a man if you are not ready to adapt with technology or to adapt in technology. So that's technology for you. Then T number 3 is tools. So when I have been trained and I have the technology, then the question is, where are the tools, or what tools can I use to be able to maximize the technology that I have acquired? So tools have to do with implements, machines, instruments, equipment that will be used to be able to execute the technology involved in my training. Okay, so training is very important, number 1. Technology is important, and then you need the tools. And that's what we will be advocating in the next government to provide. First of all, provide training in our educational system. Then in that training, introduce technology. What technology will be needed so that somebody will not just, for example, in this era of high level of information dissemination, you are still looking for a way to write letter and go to post office to drop the letter. so that it will get to your brother in China. It will not work when you can actually drop the letter on WhatsApp, or drop the letter by email, or drop the letter by WeChat. These are various technologies that are available. Okay, so I'm trying to explain to you the difference between training, technology, and tools. These are the first 3 T's that you must have before you'll be able to bridge the gap between learning and earning. So training, technology, tools. Training is the acquisition of knowledge and skills. Technology has to do with the practical application of the scientific discoveries which have already been made in order to solve problems. Then tools have to do with the implements, equipment, machines, instruments that will be used to be able to maximize that technology. Then when you have these 3 T's, you go to the 4th one, which is techniques. Techniques now has to do with the methodologies, the approaches, the strategies, the styles. How am I going to do this? That is techniques. How am I going to solve the problem? How am I going to use the tools and the technology based on my training? That's what technique is all about. Now, permit me to say that these first 4 T's, training, technology, tools, and techniques, will guarantee or will certify you as somebody who have acquired skill. When we say that somebody have acquired skill, the way you test that yes, that person have actually acquired the skill is that first of all you check where was that person trained. 2, what is the technology, the modern or current technology that is involved in the training he has acquired. And then 3, what are the tools he will be able to or she will be able to use based on that training. And then what will be the techniques. When you have these 4 T's, then you have skill. Then we go further to now look at remember on last week I talked about the 3 D's, which has to do with discovery, development, and deployment. Discovery has to do with what you are created to be, and you have been able to discover it. That is, who am I? What can I do? What are my potentials? That's discovery. Then development has to do with this skill acquisition we are talking about. Going to school, going to seminars, paying attention to WEALTHLINK radio program to learn. That's development. Then deployment has to do with going to the marketplace. So why I brought it now is because we have said that the 4 T's has to do with the skills, training, technology, tools, and techniques. Then how do we now go to the market? How do we deploy? Then you go to the next T, which is T number 5, and that is trading. And there are so many misconceptions on that. People think that trading is just buying and selling. I need to correct that here on radio, that trading is not just buying and selling. Trading is simply defined as exchange of values. Exchange of values. Just like I have money and I need a bag of rice. Okay? So I exchange that money for the bag of rice. That's trading. Likewise, if I am a lawyer and somebody needs my legal practice, maybe to defend him in court or to sign documents for him, and then he pays me for the services, that's exchange of values. If I am a pastor and I need to win souls for Christ, and I'm preaching and somebody buys into my gospel and begins to surrender to the Lord Jesus Christ, that's exchange of values. So practically, in every field of human endeavor, everyone is a trader. We need to understand that. So T number 5 is trading. Okay? Trading has to do with exchange of values. What I have, I use it to get what I need. That is trading. Okay? So that's when we talk about human capital development. We are trying to develop people so that they will be able to trade. So when FON Diaspora Network is working with the campaign organization of Francis Ogbonna-Nwiburu to become the next governor of Ebonyi State, we are simply saying that we need people that will build their capacity so that they will be able to trade. They will be able to exchange values, so that you discover that this world is a very big place, it's a very large place. In fact, in this world, there is no need for competition. All we need is collaboration and contribution. Okay? So everybody is gifted in one area or the other. Everybody mustn't be in government. Everybody mustn't be like my brother and friend Ugochukwu Onwe. Ugochukwu is manifesting in his own field of human endeavor, speaking very well on radio. I may not speak like him, but there's something in me. There's something I have. So I need to develop what I have and be able to exchange it for what I need. That's trading. Ebonyans must go into trade. Ebonyi is blessed with a lot of human capital, a lot of human resources. But a lot of them are still docile. We need to bring them out to the limelight so that the world will come to exchange what we have for what we need. Then within the field of trading, we go to the next T, which has to do with tasks. Tasks. I'm not talking about tax. Because a lot of people are afraid of paying tax. That's not what we are talking about. We're talking about tasks, activities. Okay? It is this activity that will make up the trade. In every trade, there are activities. What do we need to do? Do we need to travel? Do we need to make phone calls? Do we need to draw, to snap? Do we need to do online marketing? There are so many tasks. Okay? And we need to understand in this simple sentence I'm going to make now, the difference between tasks and the next T, which is timing, because I'm going to that in a short while. Okay? I always say, task your time and time your task. Task your time and time your task. That is how to be productive in life. Productivity is different from activity. If I do everything without result, that's activity. But if I do very few things and I have very huge result, that's productivity. So it is important for us to understand that we need to task our time and time our task. So that's about task, which is the next T, and then the next T is timing. Timing. I've already said that, so I don't need to spend time on timing. Let me go to the next T, which is travel and tourism. Very important. As a businessman, as a professional, as a skilled person, as somebody who is ready to export services from Ebonyi State to the diaspora, you must understand the power of travel. You must understand the power of tourism. It is only terrorism that hinders tourism. We need to understand that. And that's why we are praying and asking God to help us to come out of terrorism in Nigeria. Nigeria today is ranked almost the second most terrorized country in the world, second to Afghanistan, and it's not supposed to be at all. Some of us who travel out of this country, sometime in September, I was in Hungary. From Hungary, I went to Portugal, and you see the kind of hurdles Nigerians go through. Where you are not supposed to be probed, you'll be probed because you are a Nigerian. Okay, and that is terrible. If we will play down on terrorism, if we will play down on some of these agitations that make people to sit at home, that makes people not to go about their normal businesses, that makes people not to travel from one city to the other, it will go a long way to activate tourism. People will come here to Nigeria and invest. A lot of our young men will be employed because people are coming to invest in Nigeria. People are coming to Ebonyi to invest. And that's why we like what the governor is doing. There is a good, very appreciative level of security in Ebonyi State. That must be encouraged, and we believe that the next administration will take it to the next level, because travels and tourism will go a long way to grow our GDP, to grow our economy. So in travel, you know why? There are so many things that happen when you travel. One, you make contact, and it is contact that gives contract. A wise man said that it is your network that determines your net worth. So when you go out, you do what we call B2B. In the Scholars Chamber of Commerce, we attract traveling opportunities. People travel out for trade missions, travel out for exchange programs, travel out to meet other business people, to meet, make contacts, or even to attend conferences and seminars. Very important. It goes a long way. During those such seminars, you can have what we call B2B. That is business, talking to business. Okay? So, because you want to build contact, because you want to network, it goes a long way to empower you, to make you relevant, to make you well positioned and packaged for opportunities. Like I said last week, opportunity does not come but once. It is the eyes that see opportunity that come but once. So, that is about travels and tourism. Then the next T is trends. I think that is T number 9, trends. Trends has to do with what happens per time, what is in vogue, where the world is going. Today, it is so appalling that we will announce here that people should send their WhatsApp number so that they will be included in the WhatsApp class. And very funny enough that a lot of people are not on WhatsApp. How are you going to survive in a world that is controlled by ICT and you are not on WhatsApp? You don't have an email address. Ladies and gentlemen, that is trend. That's where we are now. That's where the world is. A lot of things are going on social media. A lot of information cannot be properly disseminated until you put it on social media. So you must be on WhatsApp. You must have your social media handles. And that is what our sponsors, the sponsors of this program, wants to inculcate in Ebonyi State. Skills have gone beyond learning how to repair motorcycle and bicycles. Skills have gone beyond learning how to cook and learning how to sew clothes. Those are very good, but then there are skills. For example, now if you Google search on Google now, what is the fastest selling skill in Canada, for example, you will discover that on top there you will see also what we call skills here. What you will see will be something like scheduling, your capacity to schedule events, and that's what somebody will be paid huge amount of dollars to be doing overseas. Why can't we train? Just 1 week is enough to train somebody to learn how to schedule. Learn something like data analytics to be able to forecast profitability and events that will take place in a business organization. That is what we are trying to build in this program. And we're so happy that the incoming governor of Ebonyi State, Right Honorable Francis Ogbonnawivuru, is buying into this program, is throwing his weight behind us. We also thank the FON Diaspora Network for funding this, paying for 100 persons to be trained in some of these soft skills. Because that's where the trend is. You need to understand trends. That is T number 9. Then T number 10, very important, is team. Team is an acronym, and I want to tell you the meaning of that acronym. Team stands for together, everyone achieves more. Together, everyone achieves more. So that it won't be one-man show. You won't be one-man squad. It's not possible. This is no longer the time of Bazuago. Iko to onye. We celebrated that in the past, but today, you need collaboration, you need networking, you need contribution, you need team. And then when you have a team, you set a target. That's T number 11, target. What are we going to achieve in January? What are we going to achieve in February? What are we going to achieve in 10 years coming, in 50 years coming? That's target. Goal setting. And then finally, if you are able to do T number 1 to T number 11, that's training, technology, tools, techniques, trading, task, travel and tourism, timing, trends, team, target, then you will have T number 12, which is turnover. Turnover has to do with profit. Turnover has to do with transformation. Turnover has to do with profit, gains. And that is where we are going to stop today. Remember that WealthLink radio program is brought to you by the Scholars Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where we believe in bridging the gap between learning and earning. I've just given you the 12 T's that will enable you to bridge the gap between learning and earning. And we are training Ebonians free of charge now, courtesy of FON Diaspora Network, which has to do with people, our people in overseas who believe in the person of Francis Ogbonnawivuru to become the governor of Ebonyi State, so that human capital development will be achieved. Till next time, next episode. Remember that this program comes to you Tuesdays and Thursdays after network news. God bless you. I remain your brother, Henry Ndoka Awurego.
Thank you very much.